When I was self-publishing my first book, I was so ready to be done with it. On to the next one. But my day job was actually in digital marketing, and I had to run A/B tests on our marketing copy or the messaging we were putting out. So when I first heard Dave Chesson mention testing new book descriptions on his Kindlepreneur podcast, I winced. Oh, right, I should have thought of that. But I just wanted to write the next book. I learned the hard way that setting your book description and forgetting it is not a good practice. So today we're going to go over what you need to know about this best practice for indie authors. How often should you update your book description? And most importantly, how to do this on some of the major platforms. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm MK Williams, an author and independent publisher. I love sharing my insights about all things self-publishing with you. Before I get into the details of today's topic, don't forget to hit subscribe. You'll be notified each week as I put out new videos about self-publishing, making a career to being an author, and now being a mompreneur. So as I am exploring the world of traditional publishing for my dystopian women's fiction, speculative fiction novel, I'm going to let you know when I'm talking about strategies for self-publishing authors or for traditionally published authors or hybrid authors. Today's video is for self-publishing authors. My understanding is that traditionally published authors don't have access to their book metadata to be able to update and optimize the book description. If I'm wrong, let me know below. Now, most authors know that crafting the best book description text or blurb is critical for launch, but what worked today won't necessarily work next year. Or if your sales are okay, well, all right, but what if they could be better? So when I did A/B testing as my full-time job, I went to a conference and there was this really amazing presentation. I forget the speaker's name, but what he said stuck with me, which is that there are so many thousands of words and therefore there's so many millions of possible combinations. So the idea that you landed on the exact perfect one the first time around is infinitesimal. So we want to start with a fresh page whenever we're writing our book descriptions. Maybe you have a great one to start, but you need to create new ones too, because the chances are you didn't hit the perfect one the first time around. We're going to start with a fresh page. Do not look at your old book description. Craft something new. Once you have that new text, where does it go? Well, for several of the platforms, you can go back into your listing where you put the original description and then click Save or Publish. Others aren't as straightforward. Later in this video, I'm going to show you how to update your book description on the major platforms, and I have chapters below you can jump to if you literally just want to see how to update it right now. How often should you optimize? When I first heard this advice, it was to update monthly or quarterly. Yeah, with a full-time job and life and writing my next book, it didn't happen for me. So now if I can update them once a year, I'm happy with that. If you have the time and energy to update them more power to you. How do we run this A/B test? Okay, that's up to you. With this optimization, you aren't actually running a true A/B test. I'm going to get really nerdy and nichey here. So a true A/B test would be having 50% of all people who land on your book page see description A. The other 50% see description B. Based on which one results in the most number of sales, you know if A or B won. Nope, you can't actually do that with the current systems. What you can do is test taglines and copy with your social media ad copy, say on Facebook. There you can run A/B tests and actually see which one generates more clicks. You can't actually see which one generated more sales though, which is a bummer because clicks may not be indicative of sales. If maybe they land on the page and everybody clicked B, when they got there, there was a disconnect, so they didn't buy and more people bought off of A. It's super confusing and frustrating. So seeing what drives clicks could still be a good indicator, though, of what might drive more sales. Your other option is to do a time test. So for 1 month, you have book blurb A up for your book. The next month, it's book blurb B. You compare between the 2 months and see, was there a difference in the number of sales? Now, again, this isn't perfect for isolating variables, which is really what you want to do in a test. But maybe you did a better job of driving people to the book page in month A, and other things just came up in month B. It's really hard to control. So do your best to have a huge grain of salt with all of this. One way to make this easier for you is to have several options ready to go so that it isn't the last day of the month or quarter or year and you're scrambling to come up with some new book copy, okay? So I want you to have multiple options ready. Now, one thing I also think you should do is understand what the winner is telling you, right? So the winner is telling me, if I do a shorter description, that gets me more sales than a longer one. The winner's telling me, oh, a longer description works better. because I could actually fit more of my keywords in there with more text. So more people were coming to the page. It got me more sales. Like, have an idea of what you're testing, not just, I don't know, I tried something totally new and I don't know why it won, and therefore I don't know how to improve it further. Should you update all formats at the same time? That's up to you. One control could be to have your print book the same and give your ebook the new copy. But people who prefer print over ebook and vice versa are inherently different readers. So maybe it tells you what works overall, or maybe it just works for that specific format. Measure everything with, again, a huge grain of salt, like the super, super big grains of salt. One big tip for you to do would be to craft your new description in a Google Doc or a Word doc, proof it, edit it, and then copy and paste it to the publishing platforms. Don't erase your current description and then stare at the blank screen and just wing it. You also want to keep that original description somewhere so you can always revert back if somehow the new description, it does way worse. If I put the description on my back cover copy for my print book, when should I update that? So you could update all those at the same time. You could give it a few iterations and see which one works best and then update it later. I know some people just put maybe blurbs or reviews on their back cover. It's totally up to you. Once you have the new copy and some idea of how you'll declare it a winner over the other, then you can actually go about updating that across platforms and on the back cover. All right, so now I'm going to dive into how you actually update your description on the different platforms. So how to update your book description on Amazon KDP. Now, the easiest way to update your book listing is to go into KDP, to go into the book via your bookshelf and click edit description. You'll have to hit publish on the third page to push the change through. And if you have multiple formats, you have to do this for each format. Now, you can also edit the description via Author Central. However, this will only update it on the US Amazon.com website. So if you would like this to be updated across all of the different domains, .co.uk, .ca, .au, .mx, etc., you actually need to do that in KDP. How to change your book description on ACX. So in ACX, you need to navigate to your book listing and unlock. Then you want to edit retail information. When you're all done, submit the changes. How to change your book description on IngramSpark. First, you need to find your listing. You'll edit the description. Now you can change both the long and the short description. That's up to you. You'll hit save and IngramSpark will push this to the retailer network. Usually metadata pushes are done once a week. So just keep in mind that it takes time for them to push it out, and then it takes time for all the retailers to update it. I've heard in the past from IngramSpark to estimate up to 6 weeks for all of the retailers to be updated. So they usually only recommend updating your metadata once every few months for that reason. So this could be a situation where you test the new description on other platforms. Once you have a winner, then you update it on IngramSpark. How to update your book description on Google Play. Well, again, this is sounding pretty familiar. You're going to go find your listing, go to the book details, hit edit and save. That's it. It's way less formal than the others, but give it a full 48 hours to check that it's updated on the website. All right, how to change your book description on Findaway Voices. You're going to find your book, again, edit the description, and then you request that this update be pushed to the distribution partners. Again, it may take a little bit to filter through to everyone. That's usually the case with aggregators. Okay, and that's it. Now, I actually have to practice what I preach and update the description for all 13 of my books. Yay. All right, what did I miss? What questions do you have? Do you have a good system for updating your book description? Do you want to check out my book descriptions and tell me which ones you think are good and I can keep, which ones I should change? That would save me a lot of time. All right, let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, or maybe even check out that shiny new thanks button. That lets YouTube know that you're getting value from this information, and then they can get it in front of other authors like us. Now you can get back to writing your book.